Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, heavy showers and cloudy skies throughout the day. How these conditions will affect your evening.
And thousands descend on Washington, D.C. today to show their support for Israel, how UF organizations are contributing from home.
And we went back to school this morning to see a football star. What one Super Bowl champion tells students about sharing the magic.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
WUFT weather radar showing a heavy band of showers making its way into our area. Our weather forecasters say you can expect the rain to move in over the next few hours.
And North Central Florida has already started seeing light rain and downpours. This is a video from outside the WUFT studios earlier this afternoon.
The rain's been creeping in for much of our area today. I'm Alexa Herrera.
And I'm Chris Will. Thank you for joining us. Let's check in with WUFT forecaster Derrah. Derrah, today marks the start of a wet next few days.
It is going to be a wet next couple of days. Here's that system that we saw bring heavy rain to parts of Texas and New Orleans. Now we're seeing the system sling back some heavy downpours our way. You can see steady showers across the area. We're looking at widespread rain for pretty much all of Alachua County, especially along that stretch of I-75. So you will be running into some rain on your commute home. We're also looking at a pretty steady downpour in Taylor County all the way toward Mayo, and then another steady cell right here between Chancey and McAlpin. Now, if you look outside on our campus cam, you can see those droplets on the lens. We'll continue to see this rain moving steady this evening. We'll talk about that timing coming up.
Thank you, Derrah. Nearly 50 UF students were among the tens of thousands who participated in the Americans March for Israel rally in Washington, D.C.
They want the fighting between Israel and Hamas to come to an end. WUFT's Juan Chaoui is live in the newsroom with the local impacts being felt in the nation's capital and here at home.
That's right, a sea of supporters filled the National Mall today as the calls for the fighting to end in Israel grow. Demonstrators also want the hostages held by Hamas free. We know from the Biden administration that at least 10 of the hostages are American. At the march, Senators Chuck Schumer and Mike Johnson both spoke, as this is a time where both Democrats and Republicans have come together for a cause. Other speakers at the march were family members of those taken hostage in the war between Israel and Hamas, which started back in early October. This march is an attempt to decrease anti-Semitism in the United States and garner support for Israel in the war. UF has the largest community of Jewish students across the United States, and UF Hillel hosted a watch party for the march. UF was also represented at the march, as almost 50 students were in attendance.
As being the largest Hillel in the country, it's important that we bring together not just Jewish students, non-Jewish students who come together in support of Israel to show that while we may be all the way in Florida, like Israel's a priority and we're gonna do what we can to get to DC.
As of today, the war is still raging in the Gaza Strip, and no one is sure when the war will end. Any updates to the situation in the Middle East will be published to our website, WUFT.org. Live in the studio, Juan Chaoui, WUFT News.
A Gainesville man is behind bars after police say they found child sex abuse material on his phone. Vern Most Jr. was arrested at his apartment on Southwest Williston Road. GPD received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Detectives say Most Jr.'s phone had child sexual abuse material and a conversation where he had an inappropriate conversation with a 15-year-old. Most Jr. was arrested on 6 counts of possession of child pornography and 1 count of distribution, among a number of other charges.
A University of Florida graduate student is facing criminal charges after vandalizing a pro-Israel banner at a Jewish fraternity. UFPD says 24-year-old Simon Nicholas Lowry admitted to ruining the flag outside of Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity, reading AE Pi stands with Israel. Lowry was caught on cameras police had in the area last month vandalizing the sign, and UF is barring him from campus for 3 years. He's also facing 2 misdemeanor counts of criminal mischief, according to Alachua County Circuit Court. Lowry says he plans to write a statement this week explaining his actions.
A federal judge awarded more than $372,000 in legal fees to attorneys representing 3 UF professors. WUFT's Daniella Rudolph is here in the studio to tell us about the high-profile lawsuit against the University of Florida.
UF political science professors Sharon Austin, Michael McDonald, and Daniel Smith say the university violated their First Amendment rights. When they were asked to serve as expert witnesses in select court cases, the university denied them the right. I spoke with Professor Sharon Austin, who says she joined the lawsuit because she believes in academic freedom.
I didn't quite know how to react when I heard that I couldn't participate in this, and to me that was just the ultimate slap in the face, not just to me as a person, but just to our campus community in general, because it sends forth the message that our community supports discrimination, and I like to hope that that's not true.
The lawsuit was already filed back in 2021. Reporting live from the newsroom, Daniella, Rudolph, WUFT News.
The Alachua County Public School Board is hosting its final public hearing on school rezoning. This means redrawing school attendance zones for elementary, middle, and high schools district-wide. ACPS says new school zones will be finalized by December with a final vote on December 5th. The proposed zones, which you can see on the screen, take effect for the 2024 through 2025 school year. The meeting will begin at 6 p.m. at the district office boardroom on East University Avenue.
Camp Crystal Lake is celebrating its 75th anniversary on Saturday. The camp is inviting families to participate in the same activities as Alachua County Public School students and other young people for free. Some of these activities include fishing, archery, hay rides, arts and crafts, and rope courses. The camp is encouraging visitors to bring copies of photos and camp memorabilia for the Decades Meetup in the Rec Hall. The event will be from 12:30 to 5:30 p.m. at 140 Wooded Acres in Stark.
Local elementary school students got to sit down with a celebrity this morning. WUFT's Bailey Korinek went back to school this morning to hear one NFL's player's words of encouragement.
It's definitely been a while since I've been in a fifth grade classroom, but my trip back this morning was nothing short of inspiring. Super Bowl champion Malcolm Mitchell shared with fifth grade students the values of respect, resiliency, and encouragement, along with the importance of reading and digital literacy. His nonprofit, Share the Magic Foundation, works to transform children's lives through literacy.
This exchange goes beyond sports. It's more than a game of catch.
Football played a pivotal role in my life. Exposed me to things that I probably would not have been exposed to otherwise. But from that exposure, I learned lessons that I didn't fully adopt as a child, like the importance of education, like reading, like understanding how to use the internet to gain social value in the world.
He went from the struggle of learning how to read as a kid to writing his own book. The moral of the story? Dreams come true through pages and words.
I hopefully try to find a relevant way to send that message to students so they can maximize their potential. We know everybody can't go on and be a professional athlete, but there are other extraordinary things that you can do.
According to USNews.com, 56% of Alachua County elementary students tested at or above the proficient level for reading, a number that ranks higher than most counties in Florida. Rawlings Dean Michael Graham said there's room to grow.
There's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to that. And something like this could be like, that motivation that they need to get on grade level if some of them are not.
Graham said sports metaphors help students understand the goal.
The one thing that is common throughout from even kindergarten all the way up to fifth grade is that most of them play some type of basketball, football, run track, something like that.
He said like training, daily practice helps them improve.
If I attach it to something that they love, I can get better results.
He said Mitchell's pep talk could be the boost they need.
The number one takeaway that I want the kids to fully embrace is that no matter the challenges they face, they can persevere and overcome.
Mitchell said being a better reader has actually made him a better football player. And among his numerous achievements, from playing in the NFL to winning the Super Bowl in 2017, he considers his love of reading to be one of his greatest accomplishments. Live in the newsroom, Bailey Korinek, WUFT News.
That's awesome. You might not want to pour your unused cooking oil down the drain this Thanksgiving.
What specialists say you can do to avoid damaging your pipes. All of that when we return.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. Cooking oil is frequently in the kitchen for a Thanksgiving feast. WUFT's Kimberly Blum explains how you can dispose of the oil when you don't need it anymore.
grease, and cooking oil are daily necessities at Birdie Box.
We do use about 6 containers of grease, and when we get done using it, after filtering it a couple times, we go ahead and disperse of it.
From restaurants to households, especially with the holidays around, there are measures to take for cooking oil. So make sure to enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner, but that the waste also ends up in the right place. The Alachua County Hazardous Waste Center collects all trash that cannot be put in landfills. From vegetable oil to frying oil, these household items are a poison to your drain. Hazardous waste specialist Benjamin Marquez explains how the oils can be harmful to city pipes.
Now, for the city, it's the issue of quantity. You have everyone cooking, everyone dumping, and eventually it would solidify, gather up, and clog needed pipes.
And the amount of oil only increases with the upcoming holidays.
Before that, we get around 200 gallons a week of cooking oil, but after Thanksgiving, it shoots up to almost 1,000.
Drop-off at the Waste Center is free for Alachua County homeowners. Make sure to trash your turkey frying oil correctly after Thanksgiving. This process allows for an environmentally safe disposal while helping the county's water treatment. Kimberly Blum, WUFT News.
The Waste Center will be closed on Thanksgiving Day, but open Friday the 24th for residents.
Thanksgiving travel can be a crazy busy on the roads, and this year is no different. According to the AAA Auto Club, more than 3 million Floridians will travel over 50 miles for the holiday, mainly by car. This surpasses the amount of drivers on the road before and after the pandemic by hundreds of thousands. AAA spokesperson Mark Jenkins says these numbers could break records.
Be patient. When you're out there on the road, you can't be mad at traffic if you are traffic.
AAA Auto Club says the busiest travel day is November 22nd. They say the average travel times are 80% longer than normal.
Upgrades and improvements are underway for Tom Petty Park in Northeast Gainesville. Community members are invited to discuss potential future improvements at the park tennis courts from 5:30 to 7 p.m. These improvements include an accessible pathway leading to the softball fields, drainage improvements, and shade structures over the bleachers. The City of Gainesville says the estimated cost of the project is just shy of $600,000. This project started mid-April and is set to be completed by the end of November.
We're watching this system continue to move closer into our area. All time out tomorrow and Thursday for you on the other side of the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
We're seeing widespread rain on the radar. A few more showers popping up into northern Marion County and Alachua, though we're seeing a heavier pocket of rain right here on that I-75 corridor between Gainesville and Paynes Prairie, so you'll certainly run into a shower or two on your commute home this evening. Over in near St. Johns County, we're looking at another steady pocket of rain near Grandin all the way to Bostwick and Bass Haven along the St. Johns River. Now, we'll continue to see these showers come down throughout the evening. Here's a live look over Ocala. We're not seeing rain right now, but still seeing those gloomy skies out the door. Temperatures only 65 degrees here in Gainesville, 69 in Ocala, 72 in the Villages, and 69 in St. Augustine. Now, we have those winds coming at us from the northeast on average between 10 and 15 miles per hour. That's causing some coastal flood advisories that expires Friday, and then we also have a flood warning for St. Johns River near Astor that also expires Friday. Now, here's that timing for this evening. This is 8 p.m. We're still going to be seeing that widespread rain in the area. That'll continue in the form of off and on showers throughout the rest of tonight and tomorrow morning as you wake up. Still going to be seeing damp, maybe a light mist in the air. You'll be waking up to temperatures in the mid-60s. It'll feel a little bit muggy with those winds shifting to out of the east. So a damp and breezy morning for you. Cloudy skies, and then we'll be remaining gloomy as that off and on shower pattern continues. Now, here's where that severe weather risk lies tomorrow, just south Taylor County, stretching all the way over to southern St. Johns. Now in Gainesville, we just barely make that cusp. Southern Gainesville is in that marginal risk for a severe thunderstorm, but otherwise can't rule out a thunder shower or two. Here's that system as it continues moving into our area tomorrow afternoon, but the system that we're watching right here, this area of low pressure, is what the National Hurricane Center flagged that could possibly become a depression or develop tropical characteristics. Now, whether it does or it does not, both of these areas of low pressure are certainly going to be bringing rain our way. Wind gusts tomorrow, 30 miles on the coast, 10 to 20 miles inland. So either way, we're looking at another gusty, windy day, racking up pockets of an inch or more by Friday. Rain chances high Wednesday and Thursday, and then just in time for the weekend, we'll start drying out.
Coming up next on WUFT News, Florida men's basketball will return to action tonight at home against Florida A&M. The Gators are looking to rebound after a close loss to Virginia last week. After the break, we'll be talking all about tonight's matchup and plenty more. Stay tuned.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome into sports. I'm Madison Walker. Florida's men's basketball is back home tonight, looking to rebound after a nail-biter loss to Virginia. After scoring 102 points in the season opener against Loyola Maryland, the Gators struggled offensively against Virginia, scoring only 70 points. Florida shot 40% from the field in the loss, something that they'll look to improve on tonight. Thankfully, history is on their side as Florida is a perfect 12-0 all-time against the Rattlers. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. at the O-Dome. The Gators will have a chance to complete a sweep of FAMU for both women's and men's basketball after the ladies took care of business last night. The Gators dominated the Rattlers 92-54 and remain undefeated to start the 2023 season. As she has done every game thus far, Aaliyah Matharu made her presence felt, leading the Gators with 22 points. While the offense was pretty, the defense was just as impressive. Florida recorded 13 steals and 1 block as they limited the Rattlers to 54 points. UF head coach Kelly Rae Finley credited the team's depth as a big factor for their early season success.
Everybody has to sprint every possession and then wear your opponent down both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor because of our depth. And so that's something that we're really working on. But I was proud of our effort on both ends of the floor to hold them to 54 points. I thought was pretty good.
Florida will have the chance to improve to 4-0 this Friday night against their rivals, the FSU Seminoles. At one point this season, Florida football was 5-2 with one of the top-ranked defenses in college football. Fast forward to now, and the Gators are fighting for bowl eligibility. Florida's defense was absolutely shredded in the Bayou this weekend, allowing over 700 yards of total offense. In their last 4 games, Florida has allowed an average of 533 yards of total offense. And while the offense hasn't been too bad, they have struggled to keep pace. With only 2 games left in the regular season, UF head coach Billy Napier has stressed the need for the team to play complementary football.
Consistency is what we're seeking. And I do think we need to continue to develop players, right? We need to see improvement from players. And we need to eliminate some of the mistakes that have nothing to do with the opponent.
The Gators will have another shot at their 6th win and bowl eligibility this Saturday against number 11, Missouri. And while Florida is out of the playoff picture, the college football playoff bracket is starting to take shape. With only 2 weeks left in the regular season, teams are battling it out as the race to the national championship heats up. Tonight, the College Football Playoff Committee will release their 3rd regular season poll. Last week, Ohio State came in at number 1, followed by Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State. Washington, Oregon, and Texas were on the outside looking in. After Georgia's blowout win over Ole Miss and Michigan's close win, things might get crazy in the coming weeks. And over to cross country, where Florida runner Parker Valby received a very high honor. Earlier today, Valby was named the SEC Women's Runner of the Year. This comes after she claimed her 2nd straight SEC women's title with a sub-19-second 500-meter dash time. And to wrap things up, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Orlando Magic, and Miami Heat are all back in action tonight. They'll each look for another win in this early portion of the regular season.
And the good part that all those teams have in common, they'll all be playing inside, avoiding some of that interesting weather we have going on out there.
It's definitely best to move those outdoor plans indoors. I mean, look how much rain will be racking up through Friday, about an inch inland, and then pockets of up to 3 inches along the coast. Now, we'll be seeing those high rain chances Wednesday and Thursday, but good news is just in time for the weekend, we'll be drying out.
Thanks, Derrah. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WFT.org. Have a good night.